Hello everybody, it's Honey Lou. So I'm going to do a video response to Simon at the Hermit Cave. This is called Top 10 Oracle Decks of All Time. So I'm not going to cheat, but I do have some runner-ups that I want to share because I feel like they're worth mentioning. So if I were a beginner, or if there was a beginner who was looking for Oracle recommendations, I would definitely tell them to get the Wisdom of the Oracle. This is by Colette Baron-Reid. This was one of my first Oracle decks, and I've always felt like it was really easy to work with right off the bat. What I love about this deck is that it gives you different guidance for different situations. So it gives you keywords, essential meanings, the Oracle message, relationship message, prosperity message, protection message. And I really love these backs. I'm really drawn to spirals like this. I have a shell that has a spiral. And it's very whimsical, but it's very grounded, I feel. But with just these keywords down below, it's easy to work with and easy to kind of really grasp what's going on. I find this to be an intuitive reader. And it's just like a nice little guidance and kind of to understand what's going on in a situation. So I've always felt like this deck was very versatile in different ways, reading for other people's, reading for myself. It's a great way to learn different perspectives or have a different perspective. When I first got this deck, I was doing a lot of healing work, and so this was always very comforting for me to use. So yeah, I love this Milk and Honey. It's so cute. I love this one too, by the book. So that's a keeper in my collection. And then another one that I would totally recommend is the Energy Oracle card. So Simon mentioned this Oracle as well as one of his favorites, and I totally agree. Again, one of my other first Oracle decks that I loved and worked with. This one's super easy to work with. This was a fun way for me to learn about different chakras and kind of understand that more, and also like different main archangels like Raphael, Michael, and I found this oracle to be a good oracle for mainly relationship readings or just any kind of situation and you're wanting to know what, kind of get a grasp of what's going on. So I would like to usually pull a couple cards with this first, and then it kind of shows me what is going on in the situation, and then I will grasp what's going on. But yeah, it's not the prettiest oracle like I've mentioned before, but that says that it's really good. It's a really good tool. And that's what matters. Also, I like the guidebook. It talks about reversals and upright and affirmations. And then this is one of the only oracles I like to use in reversals. I did put it upright for this video. Oops. Okay. And then another one that I would recommend is the Herbal Astrology Oracle. This is by Adriana, Ayales, and Joséphine. Klerks is the artist. So this is one of the most beautifulest oracles I've ever seen. There's a lot of warmth. Pretty hefty guidebook. So this is a oracle about plant medicine, learning about astrology associations with those plants. It's so pretty. It's so, I don't know, there's just so much going on, but it's very pleasing to look at. I was able to connect with this deck right away. So it has the plant name, and then it has the keyword of what that plant, means, or the guidance message for this card. So this one is a lot easier to work with than dirt gems. This would be a good way to kind of dip your toes into plant medicine and astrology as well. This is my favorite card. I freaking love this card. Look at all those colors in the back. And this actually kind of reminds me of the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot by Ethany. So they both have the blending and just hidden color everywhere. And this deck pairs well with everything. So I love pairing it with everything. Perfect deck for summertime too. I love going like this and just looking at all the color. And the flowers, you could see all the plants. See, look how pretty. It's so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna keep that out so I could work with that. Okay, another one I really like is Mormento Mori. It's a Lenormand Oracle deck. And then also, this is another one that's really good. This is the Intuit Oracle by Kimberly Aria, and this is by Goodchild. Everybody knows what this oracle is like. This one feels a little bit more witchier, and this one feels a little bit more grounded in some sense. But this one, same, not really my aesthetic. I'm not so much, well, it's still cool, but it matches my sweater. But, yeah, I wrote all over this, so it's my beginner oracle. There's a lot of cards. There's like 90 cards, and they have the expansion packs. But this is always very predictive. It's good for fortune telling. It could be used as a Lenormand or an oracle, but I like to use it as an oracle, but it kind of gives me both. And yeah, this is very detail oriented. It gives you a lot of details. Sometimes it's a little spooky, but I've always felt like this oracle was very predictive and on point. And then, so this is like the same thing, but different. This is like public domain art, linen cardstock, 133 cards in this one. And then I really like it because it comes with like this little bag of crystals, but I actually took the crystals out and I stuck my baby's teeth in there for the, the tooth fairy teeth. And then the little crystals are in my plants. But this was like one of my favorite oracles for a long time as well. It was probably one of my first indie oracles. And I was really drawn to this because I always wanted like a fortune-telling type kind of deck. And I wanted a lot of cards because I was like really dumbfounded about how a Lenormand with only, 36 cards could give you a good reading. But then I learned Lenormand, and I really love working with Lenormand. I need to get a new one. But this is nice because it gives you some keywords. Sometimes I feel like this is a little bit too much, but it's always been pretty accurate. And I'm sure if I worked with it more, I would probably get, it would be really amazing. But there's so much different messages to choose from. It's fun to shuffle. It's playing card size, and then it gives you, I don't know. And then you can use it as just like a normal oracle, but I don't usually do that. I just keep it all in and read. My feet's falling asleep. Okay. It's nighttime here and it's really windy. It was scaring me earlier, and I'm like really like fidgety, and because there was a beehive or a wasp hive, same thing but different, but there's been bees flying everywhere, and they're scaring the crap out of me because my son, my baby Leon, he got stung by one, and I don't know, I don't want him to get hurt. It just freaks me out. He's just a baby, and those hurt. Those wasp stings hurt, and they'll keep stinging you. And I get scared because I heard that they have like nest underground, and I'm scared that they're nesting underground around here because that movie, it's called what, My Girl, where that little boy gets stinged and killed, and it freaks me out. It really does. Okay, so another one that I want to mention is the Sustain Yourself Oracle by James Wanless. This is a good way to learn about nature and symbolism and synchronicities with nature. So it's kind of like we're surrounded by nature and we're surrounded by oracles. We're surrounded by constant messages from the universe. I found this deck to be very intuitive. James Wanless iconic collage style decks. This is pretty large too. It's over, I think it's over 100 cards, or it's 90, something around there. But it gives you like, you know, what it is, and then it gives you a keyword on top. But it's cool to use this as learning about nature and what I said about just, you know, making the world your oyster, your oracle. And this is good for like situation, relationship readings I've found, and it kind of reads like a divination, like fortune telling deck in a way. It does. It does feel similar to Mormento Mori in its own way. Another one I want to mention is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. This is a really good oracle. I spent many hours and many days and many months working with this oracle. And this is how I learned astrology. This is how I kind of got, like, dipped my toes into astrology. I wrote all over mine because I was tired of looking at it, but I would use this oracle, and I love the guidebook. I think this is very essential to have. But this taught me how to work with like tarot and kind of understand the whole astrology part of tarot. And then, yeah, just kind of understanding how like planets and zodiac signs work together and how it makes whatever. And I've learned lots of words. But yeah, it's just old-fashioned. Another study deck of mine, but this has lots of layers as well. You can just go on and go on many rabbit holes with this deck, and I like it. And I like this cardstock. It feels pretty close to the Centennial Oracle or Centennial Tarot. This one. I haven't worked with this deck in a long time. I love it. It's super cute. But yeah, I've put this away because I was using different astrology decks, but this was one of my firsts, and it came in handy. There's lots of cards too. I love writing on my decks. It's so fun. Okay, and then another one that I want to bring up is the Cantigee Oracle. So if you want a really good homework assignment, like an oracle that gives you homework, this is it. This is very profound if you actually really listen to it and work with it. And there's a big guidebook that gives you a bunch of messages. And it's really fun to just pick a card a day. It has like funky little titles, and then the artwork is really beautiful, so it pairs well with everything. I love watercolor art. I definitely want to get that Roots and Wings Oracle next. But there's something very psychological about this deck, and I don't know. If I listen to the Oracle and actually kind of read the assignment and do it, you get some really profound messages throughout the day. Yeah, I think it's really special. I actually wrecked one of my cards because I was trying to do a thing. Thea, she puts hers on her window, and hers was all tanned up in the back, and I was like, wow, that's so cool, I'm gonna do it. And it was wintertime, and then so I wrecked it. But now it's summer, so I guess I could try it out again. But I've been waiting for the weather to get better for me to do that and to kind of just try it out like that. But this is a deck that I think is incredible and profound. Lots of wisdom. And it's definitely a deck that you kind of have to force yourself to work with, because it's just one of those decks that makes you work. It makes you think. It makes you feel. It makes you be present. That's really cool. This was a gift from my dad too. So he surprised me with this oracle and I was so excited. Okay, and then the next one that I wanted to recommend is Sibilla. So I don't have that much oracles to kind of put this in like a fortune telling kind of thing. But Lenormand, I call Lenormand and Sibilla both oracles because, you know, I only have a couple of these. Like I only have one Sibilla. I have like these Lenormand oracles. I don't have a Lenormand. No, I have one Lenormand. But I love this deck. And this is fun to learn this system because you could either use this deck or you could use playing cards, or you could kind of, I was enjoying comparing these cards to tarot and see how, you know, how they lined up with the tarot associations and just see how they all work. I love this card. But yeah, I wrote all over mine. This is my study deck and I like the way it looks written all over. I think I might get another backup and just have a plain one eventually, but I'm enjoying writing all over this one and I've started to do that again and finish it up. But I feel like it's very straight to the point. I'm able to understand what the card is saying and it's fun. And yeah, it's predictive. So I feel like, you know, having one of these kind of decks is essential for me to have and something I use pretty daily. Okay, now we're going to do the top 10. Okay, so number 10 is Earth and Bone by Sirian Shadow. I love his name. That's such a cool name. But look at this packaging. I just got this oracle, but I already know that we're going to be best friends. So look at how cute the backs are. The fronts are beautiful. The gilding's really beautiful. So this deck is very soulful. It speaks to my soul. This deck is like a self-care deck. If this is a deck that resonates with me for, you know, being a self-care deck, especially kind of with staying positive, looking at a different perspective. It's really special, and I like the way it looks. Like, it's aesthetically pleasing, but also the guidebook is my favorite part of the deck. I really enjoy like picking one card and then reading the message, and I've always found it to be very on point, and it always resonated. I love this card. And so, like, there's times where I will get down on myself and then I'll pull a card and then it just, it's very sweet and it's, I don't know, it's really good. And I would put this probably higher in my top 10, but I just got it. So, but the fact that I just got it and it's already up in the top 10, it's so easy to work with. It's, and then I like the little keywords. It's very sweet and gentle too. So it looks all shadowy, and I thought this would probably be like a shadow deck, but it's not. It's very sweet. It's very honest, but like in a very kind way, compassionate way. I think this is one of the most unique decks, oracles that I've ever had or seen in the market. It's really special. And I feel like it's definitely a all-in-one kind of oracle. I would love to get the indie version just so I know, you know, just to say I could have it, but who knows? So if anybody doesn't want theirs, the oracle, just hit me up. But it's really special. I think it's really special. I'm digging this cardstock too with Rockpool. It's very glidey. So I think like somebody has to have like at least one self-care deck in their collection. So this would be my self-care deck. And it's good for like manifestation, rebirth, transformation, alignment. Okay, and then number 9 is going to be the Alchemy deck by Kim Krans. I liked what Tammy Pie did with her video. She put this one and Archetypes together. And that's how they kind of feel for me. They always felt like they just stuck together and that was just one deck. But I wanted to actually just rate these. I think this one is my favorite one aesthetically. This is the deck where I learned alchemy on. I couldn't really grasp what the whole alchemy was. And this was a deck that kind of helped me to figure out the Thoth. And understand Thoth, and understand the abyss, and the nothingness, and the whole spiritual part of the whole transformation. But I think it's really beautiful. This is one of my favorite cards. I wrote all over mine. I'm going to keep writing all over mine. I think this is like a project that I'm going to finish up soon, since I've been really loving my oracles. But this pairs well with everything. Anything Kim Krans does, I love. She's probably one of my favorite authors right now, and always will be. Definitely an important deck in my collection. And then this is like that spot of learning about alchemy and the unknown. And it's a magician deck. It's a deck like that, as above, so below. That's how it feels for me. It's kind of tapping into that, you know, the power from above. And this deck is very energizing too, so I used to love to pull cards, and then I would be really excited to pull my card, and it always like lifted me up, and it was always like, it made me feel really good. So that's how I know that this was a really special deck. And the way it made me feel, it's very magical too. I think this is a very magical deck. Same with this one. This one feels very magical. And then this deck, this is number 8. And this is my unicorn deck. So this is the Road to Normal Oracle. This is by Spirit Speaks and Mary Elizabeth Evans. So this is a collage deck. I wanted this deck forever, and I finally got it. And this is a deck, I don't know what to explain, but it always resonates with what I'm going through, but it's very cool. It's like one of those, I'm trying to think of the right word. But it's like very cool, it's feminine, it's sensual, it's eccentric, it's cozy, and the color palette is beautiful. These are like some of my favorite backs ever. I have a lot of nostalgia feelings towards this deck. It's really special, and it's my deck. I don't use this for anybody else. It's just my deck for me and only me. It kind of keeps me like on my toes of kind of embracing the divine feminine in a way, and just embracing who I am. And yeah, I don't know, I just think this is cool. It's just a cool deck. Like literally cool. And I love all of these cards. I think they're all special, and it's very inspiring to do like creative work as well. I love this baby. I love this cardstock too. So it's like a thin laminated type cardstock. This Mary is beautiful. And I think my favorite card is the clown. And I love this Burn For You. It's easy to read too, with just like the keywords. And I love the quilts. That's really cute. Pairs well with my favorite decks. There's a lot about this deck that I love. Packaging. Okay, number 7 would be Dirt Gems. So this deck is one of those decks you have to take your time with. It's not one of those decks that give you instant gratification. You know, you just get the planet name and that's it. So the guidebook is very important to use for this deck. But once you really take the time to get to know this deck, it's beautiful. It's really profound. I've been really enjoying my pulls every day, and it's been very predictive, and I like the guidebook because it explains what's being interpreted in each of these cards. So like I'm able to understand as I read the guidebook. But I've been just pulling cards, a couple of cards a day, and then that's it. And I would hang it up and think about it throughout the day. I love that card. So it's a cool way to learn about plant medicine as well. And this is very soulful as well. Pairs well with everything. It's another watercolor deck. Yeah, I'm glad I have this deck, and I'm glad I gave it a chance and finally worked with it, because it was just sitting around for the longest time, and now I'm using it every day, and I like that. I enjoy my morning pulls with this deck. So number 6 and number 5 is the Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck. So this is Lily Ashwell. Oops. So this is the Numinous Astro deck. I feel like it's very essential for me to have a astrology deck in my collection. These are like some of my 2 first astrology decks that I've had, and these are the decks that I learned astrology. Same with the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, but I felt like these ones are more useful. These are more diverse. But this one you could use as Oracle as well, with the keywords are nice. But this one's by Lily Ashwell, Heavenly Bodies. And what I like about this Oracle is that it's very simple. It has just a little bit of keywords, so it's more flowy, it's more intuitive, it's watercolor again. So I really love those watercolor decks. When I first saw previews of this deck, I fell in love with it. And I had to have it. And this is a system that took me a while to learn, but this deck helps me all the time, and I still use it all the time. And I really like doing Celtic crosses, so I kind of like use this deck as a tarot. Understanding birth charts, my houses, and an oracle. It's really cool to use this as for like situation, energy check as well. It's cool to kind of follow the planets and what's going on in the sky. And what I love about this Numinous Astro deck is that it's very simple, but there's a lot more keywords on there to go off of and kind of ponder on. And it's a little bit smaller, but I like this one because it just gives me more details if I'm just in that mood. And I like the artwork too. It's simple, but these are really good. They work. And I would love to find more oracles, like another astrology deck, because I just want like the next new big beautiful thing. So I'm trying to find some new ones to kind of update, but these are solid. They were really cheap. And I like pairing this with a lot of decks too. Okay, so that was 5. Number 4 is the Archetypes deck. So I finally finished it and I soaped it, so it's very slippery. I love that. I love these backs. They are grainy And that's the whole point of it. I never thought they were blurry. I always felt like it just had that aesthetic of being grainy and grudgy. And this is my deck, so this is my study deck. And then I just bought the small pocket edition, so this is my deck that I would read for other people. But this is an essential. I like doing year ahead spreads with this deck, and I just did one for the first time. But I like to pull cards every day, and I wrote all over them, and then I soaped it, and so I worked with this whole deck, and it always resonates. It's, yeah, I don't know, it's really good. I've learned a lot from this oracle, learning about different archetypes. It helped me kind of understand the tarot again much better, like even with the court cards, understanding different ways and kind of lining these archetypes with the tarot and different cards and kind of understanding like what it reminds me of. Also like with other people and like family members, like kind of, finding a card and reading about it and like kind of having that flashback of who that card reminds me of. So it's a fun tool to work with. I've learned a lot using this, and I think that's what's important. And there's so many rabbit holes you could jump off, and always learning. So it's always exciting. There's a lot of depth using this oracle, and it's fun to work with too. I love it. I love my big one. And I love my small one too. This one has really cool slippy cardstock as well, but this one's my first, and I wrote all over it, and it's pretty, and yeah. Okay, so number 3 is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit. So I think this was my first oracle from Kim Krans. This is the indie version. And I have to have an animal deck. So this is my favorite animal deck of all times. And this one is cool because I learned about animals. I learned about chakras. I learned about, it's cool to kind of, see the elemental part of each animal's, kind of understand their archetype. And then this is good to use for relationship readings as well, or situation, energy checks. I don't know, it's really cool. And so I learned a lot about all these animals, and this pairs well with everything, so that's a plus. And the cardstock is amazing. I love it. So yeah, this is my top 3. And I love the guidebooks. So this is, usually I'm like the type that will highlight my guidebooks and not really care about the guidebooks, and that's just how I like them to be. But this one I'm precious with. So this is my indie one. I will not write in here because I just love it. So I hold this and I baby it. I don't know. There's something magical about this deck too. I think my whole entire top 10 is magical to me. But yeah, definitely a favorite. I want to get the pocket edition of this deck too. And I really like this little pamphlet, so it made it a lot easier for me to kind of, if I just want a quick message throughout the day, then it just gives me what I need to know. But I do love reading the guidebook, pulling a few cards a day and just doing a little daily message, and it's fun. It's really fun working with this deck and watching that Disney movie Zootopia and kind of understanding the archetypes that way, and to see how well they kind of got the archetypes, and it's very on point. Okay, and number 2. This is going to surprise you guys because this is brand spanking new. So I was always looking for a love oracle, like that all-in-one love oracle. And although like I feel like tarot does do a pretty good job with doing love readings, but there's like times where I just want more. I want more depth. I want more information. And just so, something that just more. I just want more. I don't know. But this is beautiful. It's small. There's 110 cards. It's public domain photos, but it's very beautiful. I love the backs. So here are the backs. And just, it's very sweet and nice. And I love the keywords. This is something that I've always wanted to have, and this is the oracle that I've been waiting for all my life, or ever since I started reading. This is the oracle that I've been just wishing to have, and I've read it with like other people. Like as soon as I got this deck, I was like, "Ooh, let me do your love reading. I want to see how this thing works." And so it was cool to try out different relationships because it showed me that this oracle is good for like relationship readings, commitments, like separation, also like neutral love readings and like negative love readings. So this gives me everything that I need. It's really balanced with everything that I want, and then I could actually just use this oracle and not even use tarot. It gives me exactly what I want to know. So yeah, I love it a lot. And I definitely will be buying more oracles from that lady. Her Etsy shop is called Intuitive Moon Oracles, and her name is Viana. She's from Australia. And then this is called Divine Love Oracle. So this is number 2. And number one is, it's in here, and it is the Tantric Dakini Oracle by Dig Douglas and Penny Slinger. So look at this. Look how perfect. I love it. I love it. Okay. But anyways, so this has like this nice big guidebook. This is like a tarot oracle, kind of oracle. It's basically kind of a deck of self-transformation. I plan to read with others with this deck, but I just finally worked through this whole deck, and I love reading with it. I get excited to read with that. And I think that's what's kind of like, you know, like something to always pay attention to see how you feel when you work with the deck. Does it make you excited? Does it burn you out? Does it deplete you? Does it energize you? But this one, it's like a cool way to kind of learn tarot in a different way, or like kind of like a more of an alchemical way. And then you kind of learn different mythology. It's funny. I love the bottom, but you could see that I wrote numbers there because this is linked to 8 of Earth, 8 of Pentacles. And then this one is 4 of Cups. But it's a cool way just to kind of see a different view on each card. And you could even like memorize this and use playing cards. But I've always found this to be very on point, like even just using this just all together, like just, you know, at itself, not with tarot at all. And then I love that this is it goes well with everything too, so it's aesthetically pleasing. And it's funny because when I first got this deck, I didn't get it. I was very arrogant towards it, and I was like, I don't get it. The images are blurry, but that's the whole point of it. So it kind of has like that outdated look, but it's cool. It's really cool, and I love this card. One of my favorite cards. So it talks about like sexual, sensual goddesses like Isis and her husband, and it has extra cards with past, present, future. That was kind of cool. I love this past card, Dangerous Pussy, the past. I love this card too. This carrot one is funny, the cosmic carrot. I love these jewels. So yeah, this is my number 1 oracle for self-work, for everyday use, for everything, for love reading, situation readings, for myself. And then this will probably be my favorite like love oracle to use for, you know, anything involving love or situations, or just getting like the details and like the important details, not like drama. This just gives you, it's just very classy, and I love it. So these are all my oracles. of all time, 10 oracles of all time, favorite oracles of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed this. Okay, bye.